Alright everybody, this is my video. Primarily making this video for my friend Tim Thurston over in England. He's been helping me out a lot. I actually got the idea for this truck build from him. He made a similar truck just like it from an Axial SCX10 ready to run. I use an Axial Dingo kit, so had to do a little bit more work to it, buy a lot of parts separately, and as you can see it's not completed, but for the most part it's got everything up here that it needs. I've done a lot of modifications to it myself, also similar to his truck. He used dual motors and I have done the same. They are both Axial 27T brushed motors on a dual motor plate that I got off of eBay using the stock spur gear, which is 87 tooth, and using 20 tooth pinions on both motors. So I haven't even run this thing yet, actually. I've just turned it on to make sure everything works, but I have not driven it at all. So this is going to be pretty interesting when I get to do that. Let's start with the body here. I'm sure some of you may recognize this name, the Tamiya Clodbuster body. Now this is a body kit. It's the full body kit. I get this top off here. I purchased this off of eBay from a guy in the Netherlands. This is the full body kit, comes with the screws and everything. As you may notice, this is the original body kit. It comes with the Chevrolet bow tie grill. Very hard to find. I spent $200 just to get this body. So this has been a very expensive truck build for me so far. Let's set that aside. Have not done anything with the body. Still in the original plastic, so that's going to be next project, getting the body set up on this thing. Also the same as Mr. Thurston's truck over in England, I am running 2.2 mud thrasher tires from HPI. I bought these also off of eBay. Got all 4 tires already mounted on the wheels for $50. It was a very good deal. Somebody had pulled them off of a stock HPI Wheelie King. They decided they didn't want those particular tires anymore, so they were selling them. Unfortunately right now I don't have the Wraith shocks on. These are the stock SCX10 shocks. I want the Wraith shocks. I do have some to put up here, but with those on here it makes the chassis sit up just a little bit too high, so it causes a problem with my drive line here, my drive shaft. It sits it up at too much of an angle, so it's not really able to, it just binds up when I try and run it. So yeah, I've got some drive shafts coming in the mail. They're the older Axial drive shafts, so they should work properly and won't bind up on me, so then I'll be able to put the Wraith shocks on, and this thing will sit up a little bit higher and be a lot nicer like that. Alright, I am running a Duratrax Onyx 5000 milliamp 7.4 volt battery. It's a 6-cell nickel metal high drive, and personally my opinion on that is nickel metal high drives are so much better for anything off-road. If you're going to be going through a lot of water or mud, things like that, LiPo batteries tend to be a little too fragile for that particular type of RC driving. So yeah, I just went ahead, stick with nickel metal high drives. Water's not going to bother it at all, really. So you're good with that. You may notice this is kind of an interesting setup back here. Some custom work that I did myself. I have the stock Axial receiver in there, the 2.4 gigahertz receiver. I have the ESC as well, and an extra receiver which actually operates the RC four-wheel drive worn winch that I have on the front of this truck. Now that is a very nice winch, rather expensive from RC four-wheel drive, but it is very nice. Has a scale fair lead up here, great little scale hook, comes with the winch rope on it. I'm not exactly sure how long it is, but it has a 9-pound pulling capacity. I believe it is 9 or 9.5 pound pulling capacity, so that's a very strong RC winch to have. It's mounted on a RC four-wheel drive Rampage bumper on the front here, which is a very nice bumper. It's all metal, not the plastic that normally comes with these kits, and also added metal toe shackles, also from RC four-wheel drive. So they're very nice. It just looks very cool on this truck. Very, very cool. And I have all these things, all the wires are running from the servo, everything running right back here into this little clear plastic box that I found last night in my RC junk drawer. Really, it had a old receiver in it, and I just decided I'd put this up here. It actually broke here on the side, so that's where all the wires are coming out of for right now. Had the on-off switch taped to the side there with some double-sided tape just to keep it up there for now. It's kind of a temporary setup because I wasn't really worried about getting everything fully waterproof. That was the original idea, but since it's broken now, I'm not really going to be able to do that. So this is still just in the testing phase at the moment, just trial and error with a lot of things so far, and just testing out different ideas, different things, until I can get it fully operational, which it is operational right now. So basically, for the most part, a lot of things are really just stock on this truck, just doing a few different modifications. The servo that I'm using, hope you can see that. My camera doesn't focus in very well. It's kind of blurry, but it is a high-tech servo, ultra torque, not waterproof, but I did make it waterproof, thanks to DJ Medic from RC Sparks. Some of you may know him. He had a video about this Lumax marine grease, part number there, LX1908. This is very good grease. I've been using it for a while now. I've been using the same tube, and I've barely I haven't even gone halfway down. Really, it's lasting a very long time, just one tube. And I put it on everything. I broke apart these axles and greased all my gears with that marine grease. It's water insoluble, so water's not going to wash it out too easily. It's going to protect all your metal parts from rusting and also keep them greased, so everything will function properly. You won't have any issues with that. I took apart my transmission as well, greased all the bearings and gears inside of that. So It's really nice. It protects all my stuff. I use Starbright liquid electrical tape, and this stuff is really amazing. On my Axial Wraith, I got that ready to run. I wrapped the entire ESC in liquid electrical tape, and I can just run it through very deep water now. It doesn't bother it at all. You just gob this stuff up there, let it dry. It gets rather hard, but it can peel off easily if you need it to. But it works very well for waterproofing any electronics. Also waterproof at your own risk. So yeah, that's up to you. It will void your warranty with any electronics that you waterproof. So that's at your own risk, and if anything gets messed up, that's also at your own risk. Maybe you didn't do it right, I'm not sure. But yeah, waterproofing is definitely the way to go if you're going to have any type of off-road RC vehicle as well, but most of you know that. So basically I wrapped the entire servo. You can't really see it very well from the angles that I have, but I wrapped the entire servo except for the front of it there with liquid electrical tape, and then right behind the servo horn where the gear is, the front gear, I just went around that with the marine grease to keep the water from getting into that little seam where it comes out from, so that way water doesn't get in there as well. That's basically it. I'm not sure what else to tell you about this. Had the stock transmitter from Axial, the AX3. It came with the receiver off of eBay. I got a very good deal on that, $21. That was very nice. The servo I got for $26 off of eBay. You can look that up if you want to. This is also the controller for the Warn winch. Tiny little thing, very small, as you can see, very, very small. But yeah, I don't have any type of 4-channel transmitter or anything that I can run it off of, so I just use the little controller that came with it. I do have it plugged into my receiver. I was thinking originally of running an external battery source, like a little 2-cell LiPo, but I decided to just plug it into my receiver. That was a lot easier than anything else. And be careful with these. I actually had another winch, not the Warn one, but the older winches that RC 4-wheel drive first came out with, and I sold it to a friend of mine that lives here, and he plugged it up just to test it in a 7-cell nickel metal hydrive, and apparently he fried the receiver for it. That was a little bit too much power. So stick with the 6-cell nickel metal hydrive or a 2-cell LiPo battery. Those will work properly for your winches if you have one on your vehicle. As far as how I hooked up dual motors to one ESC, I bought these extra little wires from a hobby shop. The closest one to around here is actually an hour away, so I mostly buy everything offline, but I couldn't find them anywhere online, so I just went to the hobby shop one Saturday afternoon, and they had these wires that had all these standard connectors that Axial uses. So I just bought a few packs of those. I bought what they had on the shelf, actually. I just went ahead and got them all. And I'm using, for the black wire, which is your negative side, have 2 female ends here to plug in with the 2 male ends from the motors, and then same thing with your positive, the red wire. Did the same thing over there and just had a couple of male ends on the end, so that way they'll plug into the female ends coming from the ESC, and that runs both motors. I've only run this thing with one motor so far. I have not tried it with both yet. Actually, this truck has never even been outside. This is the first time, and it's been outside, and it's still sitting on a picnic table. It's never touched the ground before, so plan on doing that soon. But basically that's it. That's my truck, and I hope you guys like it. I'm going to send a copy of this to Tim Thurston. Most of you may know him as Polar Bear from his YouTube channel. He does a lot of RC stuff. He's the one that gave me the inspiration to build this truck, and I'm going to send a copy of this video to him, and hopefully he can put it up on YouTube for me. That'd be real nice. I don't really deal with YouTube too much. If you have any questions, please comment on the video. Ask me. You can ask him. He might know a little bit more about it than I do. I'm sure he does. He's the first one to do a build like this that I've ever seen anyways. I'm still kind of new to it, still trying to figure it all out. I've only been into RC stuff for a little over a year now, so yeah. But that's my Axial SCX10, which will be an Axial SCX10 Chevrolet pretty soon, once I can get the body painted and mounted onto the chassis. It's going to be a pretty awesome truck. You get the race shocks up here, so it'll sit a little bit higher, have some more ground clearance. That'll be nice. So just waiting on a couple more parts coming in the mail. Alright, thanks for watching, and like I said, any questions, just ask. I'm more than happy to answer those for you. Thanks.